Alrighty, Sunday afternoon, Southern Ontario, September 1st. Yes, I looked on my phone. I wasn't 100%. I knew, pretty much knew we were into September. I just wasn't sure if it was the 1st or the 2nd. As you can see, the purple beast, we've got the hood back on it. I think we've pretty much tied up all the loose ends this afternoon. We're actually just getting ready to probably chill and take a relax, because we've been kind of thrashing on this thing for, let's see, what is it now? It's 8 days. 8 days straight. Do the motor swap. Did a whole ton of fabrication. If I went through the fabrication we fabricated some motor mounts, we fabricated a custom alternator bracket, we fabricated the shroud for the fan. I did a fancy schmancy. I'll show you inside the truck. Camera girl can probably go in the driver's side. I'll open the passenger side. But had to do a fancy schmancy. We raised the shifter, I guess about 3 inches, let's say. About 3 inches. Made a steel box, made it, you know, put quarter plate to bolt it to the floor, and then quarter plate to bolt the shifter, you know, to this nice heavy duty sheet metal thing, which was kind of nice because there's actually a hole down underneath here where the old standard shifter come through, and this kind of covered it up. Kind of nice. Put the oil gauge in. Haven't even looked at it yet. Did a bunch of wiring, put some relays up underneath for the electric water pump and the electric fan. It's all wired to the key. I was gonna put them on a toggle switch, but I thought, you know what, I'll just put them straight to the ignition. That way they just come on. It's kind of a safety, really. I do have, when I hooked up the shifter, I did put the neutral safety switch, which is just a limit switch, on here. This is pretty fancy, man. Yeah, pretty fancy. It's a little tight. It's a little tight, but you know what? This is a big old truck, and you know, basically once you put her in drive, that's pretty much where you're gonna do if you want to, you know, you want to get real creative. It'll go. Oh, maybe I gotta go back. Okay, maybe it doesn't want to go back. Kind of weird. It should drop into the another position, what I consider. So this shifter, it's a star shifter, and I thought for sure it would go back into its. Maybe I gotta go back into drive. I don't know. All I know is I pissed around with this shifter today, trying to get it all set up, and it was like, I was looking at the instructions that came with it in the box, and it was like, use the center hole. Use the center hole on the little bracket that's on the transmission itself, and it's like, and then I watched a video, and it's like, no, don't use the center hole for a 350 turbo. Use the forward hole. And I'm like, well, why didn't the instructions say that, you know? Let's face it, you know where the instructions probably came from. Starts with a C. That's all I'm going to say. So, did that. The owner actually got a really nice drive shaft made for it. So we've got all the fluids in it. I'm going to close this door. fluids in it. We've got everything hooked up. We've got the fuel system. We've got everything. As far as we know, you know, we've gone over it and gone over it. This is this big red. You could boost from here. This is being an old truck because of the battery. Oh, that was another thing I fabricated. Fabricated a really cool battery box that the battery slides into from the rear to the front. And the reason I did that is because once the exhaust system gets put into place, you can't put the battery in. It's a kind of a visual. Yeah, you kind of got to look at me. Hey, you can't put the battery, you know, kind of into a tray that way because the exhaust is going to kind of run past it. So it kind of had to slip in from the back. It's got a little hole down. It's been shielded all around it so that any road debris coming up off the road, it'll be protected. But we wanted a way that you could boost the truck if you needed to boost it, instead of, you know, climbing underneath the truck and putting your jumbo cables on. I ran this extra block of nylon up here to the firewall with a big old positive power terminal which runs down to the starter, so you can just boost, you know, put your positive on here, put your ground, you know, down on the frame or on the engine block or whatever. So you got a place to, because these hoods, these old school trucks, the hoods don't they don't have a cable from inside. It's all mechanical from, you know, underneath the grill. But we don't have no coolant in it. We have oil in it. We have tranny fluid in it. The owner wants to put brand new coolant in it. We can run it for, you know, a couple of minutes. So I say we crack open the door because, like I said, I set up the shifter. And it's loud. We don't have no exhaust system. You know, you heard it in the last video, but kind of wanted to pull it out. You know, just to give us some space this evening, because like I say, this thing's literally been sitting here for 8 days, and I say we close the hood, I open the door, and I jump in the truck, and we back it out. What do you say? I think we do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna open the door. Beautiful day here in southern Ontario. Truck is a little dirty, got a little dusty just from sitting. I'm just going to, I'm not going to close the hood. And yes, everybody was saying, oh, that rad looks like it sticks up pretty high, but no, I actually put a piece of plasticine on here and I closed the hood right down, and now we got clearance. We got clearance. We'll just set this down. I say we fire it up. I back it out. Let's see what happens. Maybe it won't do nothing. Kind of small in here. Hope the gas pedal works. I don't really like the brake pedal. There we go. Ignition is on, everything's running. Well, there you go. That little bit of smoke you're seeing is just the paint burning off of the exhaust manifolds. It sounds good. We didn't seem to have fuel pressure. Not really sure what was going on there. Fuel pressure gauge kind of dropped to 0. We lost the belt to the alternator. Not really a big deal because, you know, as far as I know, the water pump, well, there's no water in it, so we probably should put some water in it. The heads, well, they're not hot. They're warm. They're warm. I think we could have went a little bit further with it. That belt, not sure. We actually had some weird things with that belt the other day. It was kind of upside down. So why it came off, I have no idea. I don't know if it's the pulley. Obviously it got thrown. Everything was, you know, when I mounted the alternator, it was aligned. Not really sure what happened there. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll put it back on. I'm thinking about dumping some water in here. I had a little bit of a fuel leak here on this little fitting. I think that stopped, but the whole fuel pressure, actually I'm going to get the camera girl to come over here and I'm going to turn the key back on and see if we get fuel pressure. Fuel on the carburetor. Why we got no pressure? That's kind of weird. Got lots of fan. Water pumps running. These are the kind of the things that you discover when you, you know, you do a motor swap and you put it all together, and you know, these are we call them the bugs. You know, you gotta locate the bugs, you gotta figure them out. Now, when I just turned the key on, I heard the fuel pump. Actually, I heard it running, and yeah, kind of weird that it's got no pressure. Could be one of two things. Maybe the fuel tank's empty. How about that? It's something we haven't even checked yet to see if there was fuel actually in the fuel tank. Now, I won't go that far. I'll actually undo this here. I'll put it into a little bucket and I'll turn the key on and I'll see if I've got fuel coming out. Could be a faulty gauge. You know, you you never know with this kind of stuff. But the belt jumping off, that's something I'm not really keen on. You know, I mean, it's only running the alternator. It's not like it's running the water pump. It wasn't what I would consider catastrophic. but I'm wondering why it's jumping off. I'm not going to be able to get it back on there without, that's what I'm saying, it's tight. It's tight like a tiger. But yeah, for some reason it jumped. I'm thinking it's the the very expensive low pulley on the crankshaft. You know, it's so it's a very thin pulley, very expensive pulley, but very thin. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'd like to get that belt back on there, and I'd like to fire it up again just so I can literally watch it to see what's going on. But chances of that happening, unless all of a sudden I come over this overpowering strength to get it back on there. You know, let's face it, these type of belts they're pretty tough. Oh, it's so close. So close. I'm going to probably have to loosen off the alternator. Anyhow, I don't want to bore y'all with this this stuff, but you know, you got to see me back it out. I can tell it needs a little bit more tranny fluid. Seemed to go into drive good, but in reverse it didn't want to reverse very much without giving it a little bit of, you know, a little extra help. But there you go. There you have it. We might be back. We might be back tonight. You never know. You never know. We might do a double shot on this, but yeah. Another part to the Purple Beast. Share, like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Sharp Customs. Peace. I'm out.